Thank you again. Wanted to remind you, Rabbi, that this shiur is sponsored, dedicated to Refuah Shlema of our dear friend Avram Rachamim Chaim Ben Alexander Yeshuo, Rabbi Sofer. Many of you know him. I think he came home today from rehab. I spoke to him on the phone many times. He sounds good. Hopefully he will be completely recovered. I would like to introduce to you now someone who is very dear to me, my friend, someone who I call to take advice from, someone who I call every time there is a community question, something. He's a Bukhari and Rabbi. He understands our mentality. He comes from our midst. He is very learned, besides for the fact that he is a scholar. He also has very good middot. He is nice and well balanced, and just the pride of our community. Without saying any further, please give your attention to Rabbi Zecharia Avezov.
Thank you. You made my job very hard, Rabbi. After such an introduction, after Rabbi Rachimi, I really have to perform well now. B'shutchem, b'shut Kal HaKadosh, I would like to say, first off, I would like to say thank you to Ner Mea for allowing the shiur to go on, and a very special thank you to Chazon Yisrael, B'nesiut, Rabbi Yaakov Shlita, Rabbi Emmanuel David of Shlita, Rabbi Gadai of Shlita. It is, I have a very special zechut. I have to do this? Yeah. I'll do it. Thought I was off the hook.
You're keeping your...
Yeah.
It's tight.
What is like?
Okay. Want to put it in your pocket? You can.
Yeah, okay. I can continue? I have the permission. As I was saying, I have the zechus, Baruch Hashem, I have the zechut to be learning in Torah V'das right now. And this, I don't know if I should just call it an organization or Makom Torah, Bet Knesset, everything all in one, is named Chazon Yisrael after Rabbi Yisrael Belsky Zatzal. And although everyone here is aware of the sheer depth and breadth of the knowledge of the three Talmidei Chachamim that are leading this program, this organization, there's one thing that I can say, and this is Dvarim Pshutim. Everybody in this room, watching over there, everybody knows this already. This is Dvarim Pshutim. There's one thing that I think I know what Rabbi Rahim was doing. There's one thing I think I know that you guys don't know, and that is because I have the zechut of learning in Torah V'das. Rabbi Yaakov has a very special nickname there. Did you know that? Rabbi Yaakov doesn't even know this. What is his special nickname? He is known, and I didn't hear this from one Talmud in Torah V'das, I heard it from several people. They said, Rabbi Yaakov, he was Rabbi Belsky's favorite Talmud. Did you know that? This is what several people told me. So it is honestly a very, very big zechut to be invited to speak, to work, to just be in the midst, to know Rabbi Yaakov of Shlita. So you guys are very lucky, that's all I should say. So thank you very much. Yeah, let's give him a round of applause. Rabbi Yaakov. So, before we start about what actually this is going to entail, as the flyer said, my speech is called Collars and Cents. Now, before I get into, we're going to speak later on why it's called Collars and Cents, but it's so interesting how many people actually asked me and they said, what's Collars and Cents? Are you sure you didn't mean dollars and cents? And a lot of people asked me that, including Rabbi Yakubov. Now, why is that? Why did people want to know? Why did they assume that I made a mistake? Maybe I did, because maybe I'm prone to mistakes. People that know me more, maybe they'll know, yeah, that's why. But, some people that don't even know me so well, are you sure you didn't mean dollars and cents? Why is that? Why do we automatically assume that it has to be dollars and cents and not collars and cents? The reason being is we are, by nature, by human nature, people are very, very accustomed to hitraglut, to regel, to something that we're regil, to like we said, accustomed to what makes sense. Now, dollars and cents is something that we're very used to. It's an expression. Everybody knows, yeah, dollars and cents goes together. Once they see something that's slightly off, it sounds the same, but it's slightly off, like, oh, what's going on here? There's a change. We don't like change. We need everything to fit. It has to fit like a puzzle. And this is why I got asked so many times, dollars and cents, collars and cents. And in order to combat this nature of human beings of just acting on instinct, on formality, just that we're used to, just on custom. That's why we have, Rabbi Rachimi was giving out gifts, which, by the way, these are amazing gifts. I have incorporated something similar in my house, and we have my wife put out little clickers to say thank you, Hashem, for the kids, for different things, and it's amazing how my kids how they get excited about it. I put out, he's giving out gifts. I'm also going to give out gifts as well. But wait, there's more. There's gifts. These are the books outside, the Bo Cheshbon books that we put out. Something that everybody should, I just implore you that everyone should take one. We have for men and for ladies. But I know some people don't like reading. They just, like I said, we're just used to quick. Read the introduction. It's called Instructions for Success for a reason, not just introduction. Because if you want to be matzliach with it, you're going to have to go. What it is basically sitting down, taking a few minutes of your day to actually think about what you did. Cheshbon nefesh. To think about how your day was. Take every single day. It's broken up into every single day of the year. It's a gift. It's every day. It was sponsored. Some of the people that are sponsored are here. I don't know if they want honorable mention or not, but they're sitting over there. So that's a gift also from us to you. Now, what is this going on? What are we talking about? What is our whole tafkid? Rabbi Rachimi spoke very nicely. What are we supposed to do with Rosh Hashana? What is it? What is Rosh Hashana about? It's about Gilu B'Ra'adah, it's about the fear, just about the fear, Ezul Acherev, Ezul Arav, Al Medinot, Al every single person. We know we're being judged, and if it's just the fear, then I don't think we need to prepare so much this year. I think this year is very simple. We had Corona, we had these riots, these Afghanot, these everything, what's going on. People are, and they really understand it. Whether it's true, whether you hold this as, what do they call it, it's just some made up thing by the left to go against our president to make sure he loses, or whether you hold it's really a sakana, it's something that's true or not, whatever you hold, at the end of the day, lemaisa, what happened? Did the whole country, not the whole country, did the whole world turn upside down? How many people lost their parnasa? How many people lost their lives? How many people lost everything? Everything. Even with this book, every single person was affected in some way, shape, or form by Corona. So if that's the case, and Corona didn't discriminate between the rich, the poor, the Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, this Eda, that Eda, didn't discriminate against anything or anybody. Yehudim, Goyim, everything, everybody. It didn't discriminate. So if that's the case, and I feel like this is something that every rabbi across the world is going to mention on Rosh Hashana, so I figured, let me also, I'm also going to mention it. But if this is the whole tafkid of Rosh Hashana, just the fear, what's the point? Do we really need to prepare? Did Rabbi Yaakov really have to come and invite Rabbi Rachimi and invite myself to come and speak to you about this? I think that if anybody was just awake for the past, however long it's been, 6-7 months, they are already ready for Rosh Hashana in a certain way. If that's the whole tafkid, you guys could all go home right now. Please don't. But if that's the whole tafkid, then you guys could all go home right now. So if that's the case, then what's going on here? What is our tafkid? Everybody says this is our tafkid. Gilu B'Ra'adah. We look at the Machzor, it says so. Al Medinot Yomar, on the nations, and every single individual, every single person. We're going to be going like sheep going through when the shepherd is going to be counting them. 1, 2, 3. He's counting. He's going to judge on every single one. Every single one of us is going to be standing before HaKadosh Baruch Hu as well, being judged. So it says that in the Machzor. So l'chaura, this whole thing that I prepared, I just throw in the garbage. But I'm not doing that. So what's going on? If we can summarize Rosh Hashanah, our tafkid, our main goal of Rosh Hashanah in one word, how would we do it? I'm not going to ask the rabbi because of course he knows, but I want to get the crowd involved a little. Who's going to volunteer? One word. I only need one volunteer. One word of Rosh Hashanah. How would you do it? Tshuva. Who said tshuva? Tshuva, whoever it is. That's a nice thing. I wouldn't say that, but that's very nice. Tshuva, some people say tshuva. Let's go. I have some familiar faces here. Sweet. Shana tova metuka. Sweet word from sweet man. But I also wouldn't pick that. Rachman, last one. You want to say something? Connection. Melech. Oh, there we go. Save the best for last. Melech. What does this mean? Melech, Malchut. We're just speaking about corona. It's not corona, but it's to coronate. We have to be mamlich. We have to coronate HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to let us realize who is the true king, who is in control of every single aspect, every single minute detail of our lives. HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What does it mean to coronate him? What does it mean to actually give to him? It means putting ourselves down completely. Everything, we're hitbatlut, we're mivatel ourselves completely. We are completely nullifying ourselves and our ratzon before the ratzon of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, before the will of Hashem. Everyone heard of the Sdei Chemed, Rav Zecharia Medini, Zatzal, he wrote the Sdei Chemed, it's Farim, it's just mind-boggling how a person was able to write so in such detail, in his lifetime, in one lifetime. They say that how did he get this chokhmah? How did everything open up for him? When he was learning in the kollel. When he was in the kollel, he wasn't known as the biggest Baal like Lamdan, the biggest Baal Kishrin, but he was very anav. He was quiet and he was good, and he was just getting a lot of respect. He was getting a lot of attention. Wow, the Sdei Chemed is here. The Sdei Chemed, everybody in the kollel loved him, respected him. His Rosh Kollel also had only great words to say about him. Except one other person. There was one person that didn't like him. Why? Because this guy, he felt he deserved it more. He felt, I'm the biggest Lamdan. I have the best head over here. I could and give me any svara, anything you want, I'll tear it to shreds. Why is he getting all the kavod? I should be getting the kavod. So what he did, he decided it was getting him more and more and more and more. It got to the point where he said, I have to do something about it. So when the Rosh Kollel went for a month, I think the story goes, this is a true story, documented by the way. When the Rosh Kollel went for a month, fundraising, I think it was 1 month, 2 months, whatever it was, to fundraise for his Kollel, this guy, he said, you know what? Now I got it. Now's my opportunity. He went to Rabbi Rachim was mentioning about the cleaning lady. He went to the cleaning lady over there. Hope it's not the same one. He went to the cleaning lady and he said, listen, you have a family. I see you're working hard. Yes, very hard. It's very difficult. She was a shiksa. He said, I have a deal for you. You want? I'll pay you. You'll live comfortably. You won't have to work so hard anymore. I'll pay you very, very handsomely. I just need you to do me one favor. Sure? What is it? See that rabbi over there, the Sdei Chemed, Rabbi Medini? I need you to go out and tell everybody that since he's such a matmid, he was always in the Beit Midrash learning more and more and more and more. I need you to go and tell everybody that he was mizana you. He was with you. You want me to do that? Yeah, I'll pay you up front. She sees the money. Listen, it's not, it was in Crimea. They had a ruble back then. I'm assuming it wasn't a dollar. It was the rubles. She sees all these rubles. She says, hello, this is kesef the kesef. You know, money talks. So she said, yeah, the kef. Sure, she got it. She took the money. Lo and behold, and the next day she comes out screaming, I can't believe it, you Jews, this. What happened? Everyone in town's going, what happened? It said, the Jew, that rabbi that you all think he's such a smart person, he's such a great person, such a humble person, he's nothing but an animal. And she started telling everybody these lies. She started telling everybody what happened, supposedly. And everybody couldn't believe it. They were shocked. I can't believe it. The Sdei Chemed, we all thought we knew him. We thought he's such a great person, such a tzaddik. And what happened? This is what happened. Now his true colors come out. And instead of getting kavod, instead of standing up for him as soon as he walks in, people were cursing, were spitting at him. As he was passing by, people literally spat at him. Fathers were telling their kids, you see that rabbi? That rabbi, he's not a rabbi. Make sure you never end up like him. There were moms cursing him out, spitting, disgusting. Everything was disgusting what was going on there. They said, I can't even look at him. And he knew that this wasn't the truth. But what could he do? He tried denying it. Listen, it's not true. Nobody believed him, obviously. So he said, okay, fine. So he left the kollel and started learning in his home. Time passes, everybody forgets, and obviously this guy now, he becomes the star of the kollel. And the Rosh Kollel, he comes back and he says, where's Rabbi Medini? And Rabbi, get him out of here. He's not a rabbi. You should know what happened. And they tell him the whole story. And the Rosh Kollel is also, he's shocked. Says, it can't be. Rabbi Zecharia Medini can't be. He goes over to him and he says, did it happen? No. He just goes like this. No. As if, shtika ke hoda'ah, as if to admit, but he didn't want to lie straight up, but he didn't want to deny it. So he couldn't believe it. He said, okay, fine. And then a few days pass, and this lady, she comes knocking on the door, barging into the kollel, when nobody was there but the Rosh Kollel, and she comes with the money, says, here, take it back. She throws it in his face. Maza, you're giving a donation to the shul? I didn't know you're so rich. I'm paying you too much. He says, what is this? He says, no, and she tells him the whole story. She says how the other kollel Yumaman was the one that made up this whole story. He paid her, and said since she agreed to do it, her husband passed away, one son broke his leg, everything, nothing, her house caught on fire, everything, terrible things were happening to her, and she realized, she made the connection. She said that one thing has to do with the other. She says, I have to do tshuva, righteous amongst the nations, right? She has to do tshuva. Who said tshuva? You said tshuva, there we go. So, she did tshuva, she gave him back all the money, and she said, this is not for me, I don't want it. And then he realized it, he says, wow, okay, so why did Rav Medini, seem to administer? He says, okay, fine. So he went to the other guy, to the young man that fabricated this whole story to begin with, and he told him what happened, and this guy also admitted at the end. He said, yeah, I don't know, his life was going sour. So he went to Rav Medini, he says, that's it, you can come back to your former glory. You can come back to your former glory. Everyone will love you again, will respect you. And Rav Chizki Medini sat there for a minute, and he thought, no, I can't do it. Ribono shel olam, I can't believe it. You can't do it? You were just getting bizyonis. You were getting put down. You're being literally spit on. People were spitting on you. They were cursing people in your name. They said, I hope you end up like him. They were telling their kids, I hope you never end up like him. Everything, what's going on? You were getting you hit rock bottom. And you don't want it. Now is your chance. You can come out and exonerate yourself. And you're choosing not to? Is everything okay? And he said, let me ask you a question. He goes to the Rosh Kollel and says, let me ask you a question. Until now, what were people thinking? They thought that this is what a kollel guy does. Although he's in kollel, he went and he does things with non-Jewish ladies. And now what's going to happen? They're going to say, oh, that's not true. But you know what kollel guys are really like? This is what they're like. They go and they spread rumors about other people for money. They even pay just for their own kavod, for their own glory. Is that what Hashem wants? This is what's going to be? Is this the Kiddush Hashem? Is that what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants from me? It's okay. I'll take the shame. I took it for these past few months. I'll take it again. I'll take it more. If I have to move, I'll move. But I can't do it. I can't bring this out because of the desecration, the Chilul Hashem that's going to come out of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name. He says it's not worth it. My kavod, it's okay. I don't care about my kavod. I don't care about my name. Whose name do I care about? Shem Shemayim. I want to make a Kiddush Hashem. And this is what Malchut is about. Malchut is not Malchut, but to be Mamlich, to coronate HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to mamish be Mamlechem, to make him, to show everybody that he is king. This is what Malchut is about. To make ourselves, it's not about what's good for me. It's not about my kavod. It's not about my name. It's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. That's what matters most. I don't care about myself. It's hitbadlut atzmi. For a person to put his own thoughts, his own feelings, his own gava, his own pride to the side, and do it everything for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Malchut is about. So okay, fine. So we're going to be Mamlich HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Bezrat Hashem. What next? What does that mean to be Mamlich? Melech. Okay, he's a Melech for me. We have any hasaga? We have any idea of what a Melech is? Do we have any idea of a Melech? We have a president here, and believe me that the way the Torah says a person is supposed to treat, there's actually halachot about what a person is allowed to say about a Nasi, about the Melech, and believe me, what America is doing, what the country is doing, what a lot of people are doing, they're not treating the president like a Melech. So we have no concept of what a Melech is. Maybe some people, I don't know, Torah time, maybe if they they live in the United Kingdom, maybe they have a small concept of Malchut, they have the queen, but even that is not the same. It's not the same. I have a bunch of friends from England. They tell me that it's just more of a, commemoration type of thing, but she doesn't really have any real power. Hope they don't get me for this. But she doesn't have any real power, so that's also not true Malchut. So what is it? So, being that I'm a rabbi, I have the liberty to answer a question with another question. So there we go. That's what I'm going to do right now. You guys daven Arvit yet or no? After. Okay. So, when you're going to be davening Arvit now, I'm sure everyone has davened in the past, I want you to pay attention to something. I don't have a siddur on me right now, but I want you to pay attention to something. What's going on in the tefillah? How do we start tefillah? You ever pay attention to this? And the truth is, it's not only Arvit. Shacharit, Mincha, we find this theme across all three tefillot. How do we start tefillat Arvit? After Baruch Hu, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam. Asher bidvaro ma'ariv arvim. With your just with your words, you're ma'ariv arvim bechokma. Potech sharim, you're able to open up the sharim. This is not the nusach I'm used to, it's not Sfaradi, so it's a little different. Uvitvuna mishaneh itim. But we go about the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're mishaneh itim, u'machlif et hazmanim, u'msadel et ha'kochavim, b'mishmeret ha'hem u'barakik l'sno. We go on and on listing the capabilities of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why is that? By Mincha, we do the same thing. We ever pay attention to Asher? We just go, people used to Asher, Asher, V'secha, they go through the shul, that's all they do. No, pay attention to the word. What do we say there? We start praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Psukei de Zimra, it's all praises of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why do we do that? And then how do we end it off? This is all a build-up. And what's the climax? We're just about to start Shmona Esrei. And how do we do it? Hashem sefatay tiftach, ufi yagid tilatecha. We ask Hashem for a bakasha. We have, before starting our actual Amidah, Tfilat Amidah, we ask Hashem for a favor. Hashem, sefatay tiftach, open up my lips, please. Why? Ufi yagid teilatecha, so that my mouth can say your praises. This is, I don't know, if you ask me, it's quite interesting. And if it wasn't recorded, I would tell you it's even quite weird. What a weird way to start it, no? Is that weird? Like, for instance, when coming in, I told Rabbi Yakubov that I'm not asking his permission. I'm going to be saying some praises about him because I knew he wouldn't agree to say to this shevach that I said about him, and he definitely didn't ask my permission to say that shevach about me. So why didn't he ask permission? Why didn't I ask permission? Because it's something that we don't ask permission for. I'm going to give you a praise. I'm going to give you a compliment. I have to ask you, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you help me out? I want to say some praise about you. I want to say some nice things about you. Can you help me out? Who does that? That's weird. Nothing but less than weird. What is that? What's going on over here? And Chazal, Anshe Knesset HaGdolah, they decided that we have to start. They felt it so important to start the Amidah, the Tfilat HaAmidah with this praise. After this whole build-up, after this whole climax of realizing who HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, what His capabilities are, what His abilities are, we have to come and start asking Hashem to open up our lips. What's going on here? So, and this is a pasuk in Tehillim. I mean, David HaMelech was going on. He was going on and on saying this. So what's going on here? I have a zechut. I have many zechuyot. Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hu helped give me a lot of matanot. One of my matanot is, and anybody that comes to my house will see it, I have a picture of a very young me getting a beracha from Chacham Avodah Yosef Zatzal. It was mamash one of, yeah, you like that, huh? Now he woke up. So, it's one of my most proud moments. I love it. And that's why anytime I have somebody new come into my house and they say, hi, how are you, this, that, the very first thing I do, check out this picture. I show it to everybody. I'm very proud of it. How did I get to that moment? That was actually my third time getting an appointment with Chacham Ovadia, but my first time actually getting in. What happened? The first time I went, I had a friend, Isaac Cohen, he's the one that he hooked me up to get in. The first time I went, Rav Shlomo Amar, Shlita came in, unannounced, so obviously he has precedence over me. I agree, I give him that, And the second time, there was a security breach. Why? Because in the middle of Psukei de Zimra, we're just talking about Psukei de Zimra, in the middle of Psukei de Zimra, you have a guy, comes in with a goatee, t-shirt, black t-shirt, polo, the tiniest kippah you ever saw in your life, if you actually saw it. Tiniest red kippah you ever saw in your life, with sunglasses and a stick, a staff, not just like a staff. Moshe Rabbeinu's style, staff. He comes in the middle of Psukei de Zimra, okay? And he comes. Morai v'rabotai, he makes an announcement. Ani HaMashiach ben David, I am Mashiach, and I came to redeem you. Yalla. Bezeh halashon. That's what he said. He said at the end, Yalla. And anybody who's been in Eretz Yisrael for a little more than a couple of weeks will realize that this is actually very shaykh. That was actually my third encounter meeting Mashiach. That was the third Mashiach that I met. The first one, you're laughing. The first one tried to enlist me in the army, and he told me that if I'm not going to join the army, I'm not going to get redeemed. Like, what's going on? And at that point, it was my first year in Eretz Yisrael. My Hebrew was a little shvach, I didn't know Hebrew so well. I'm trying to tell him, Ma? Tzahal? Ani? בחור ישיבה, אני לא צחר, you know, what's going on? You know, I don't really speak Hebrew that well. עכשיו, ברוך השם, הקדוש ברוך הוא זיכה אותי, אני יכול לשלוף בעברית, מי שרוצה, יאללה. No. So, that was my first time, until Baruch Hashem I had a good Samaritan tell him to take a hike. My second time, the guy, he was just out of nowhere, he comes over to me, asks me about a certain pasuk in Tanakh. I said, yeah, sure, whatever, Yeshiva Bachar is supposed to know all these things. Yeah, כן, בסדר, בטח שאני מכיר את הפסוק הזה. Yeah, of course I know this pasuk. כוכב שנפל, okay? He tells me, אני הכוכב, אני אותו כוכב שנפל. I am that star that fell, which means it's Mashiach. I am Mashiach, and I need you to... The second I heard that, אני לא מדבר עברית, אני אמריקאי, אני כן לא לכת, you know? And then he starts telling me in English, Ma, you want, I speak to you in English too, אתה רוצה? כן. I am Mashiach, you have to come with me. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Very, very interesting moment, and I had to run away from that too. But that second time of meeting in Eretz Yisrael, meeting Chacham Ovadia, this guy came, this Mashiach came, my third Mashiach that I met, and Baruch Hashem, I didn't actually meet him, and there was a security breach. So comes the third time, I'm finally excited. My friend Isaac Cohen, he comes to me in the morning, he says, we have an appointment. My mom texted me in the middle of the night. He used to be neighbors with Rabbi Shelby, who used to be Chacham Ovadia's Gabbai before Tzvi. So, whatever, he hooked it up. So I said, Yalla, let's go, okay. Excuse me, I go, we get on the cab, we go there, and I was waiting for this moment this was a month before, I was in Israel for 3 years, Baruch Hashem, and it was a month before my last flight my one-way flight to America, where I hoped that I would be able to go back to Israel, but I knew that I wouldn't be going back to yeshiva there, so I wasn't sure the next time I was going to be in Israel, if I'll ever be Zech again, so I said, definitely. I jumped on the opportunity, and I had 2 questions that I wanted to ask Chacham Ovadia. One was for a personal bracha, for something, had back problems and whatever, for refuah shlema, and the second, well that was really the second, the first, was a question in learning. He gave a certain psak that we were learning, and I wanted to, as they say, handle and learning with Chacham Ovadia. So I was prepared, all my friends and she were like, hey, you're going to go. They were cheering me on, rooting me on. So we go there. I'm on cloud 9. I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm going to do it. We get there. And truth is, it was very funny. The guy tells him, Mize Isaac Cohen. Rak Isaac Cohen yachol lekanes. Only Isaac Cohen can come in. I'm like, what? No. Check the text message. She said 2 people. I said, no, Rak echad. Mize Isaac Cohen. And he tells me, Isaac Cohen, he tells me, who Isaac Cohen? I'm like, me? I'm like, Isaac, I'll be honest, thank you, but I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't do the same for you, so you don't have to. He tells me, no, it's fine. I was there before. I know I can get in again if I really want to, and this is your dream. Yeah, they're going. I'm like, sure? Yeah. I said, okay, fine. So I said, Ken, I need Isaac Cohen. I only realized afterwards how terrible it is. I had to lie to get into Chacham Ovadia. It's a chutzpan ani, huh? But whatever it is. So I get in there, and I'm in the waiting room. Gilu b'ra'ada, like Rabbi Zecharia was saying, I was so nervous. I was like, that's it. I can't believe it. I'm actually going to do it. Okay, and I was rehearsing the sheilot, the 2 questions, requests that I was going to ask. And as soon as I get in there, and I see Hamelech b'yofyo, I see Chacham Ovadia and his talit with his hand outstretched, not tefillin, but with his hand outstretched already, I was in shock. I was in awe. I just handed my camera, because of course I'm going to bring the camera. I handed my camera over to Tzvi, the Gabbai, and right away I just went in, and it was actually very funny. The first picture he took, because I saw that Chacham Ovadia was already waiting, so I took off my hat, and my kippah fell off as well, and in my mind I was thinking, wow, I'm in the same room with Chacham Ovadia without a kippah on my head. How great do I look? So the first picture you see was like that, me trying to catch it, whatever's going on. So okay, so we get there, I get in, and he tells him that I'm Rabbi Shelby, I'm Isaac Cohen, I'm Rabbi Shelby's neighbor, the whole thing from America. And he's giving me the brachot. Truth is, he was slapping me. His slaps weren't hard. I honestly wanted, I wanted to tell him, Tarvitz li kvod Rav, give me a smack. I wanted to tell people, I got knocked out by Chacham Ovadia. Can you imagine to say such a zechut? What a great thing that is, but whatever. I wasn't able to. He gave me light slaps, was kissing, everything, was the whole thing. And then because Tzvi told him that I'm from America, Chacham Ovadia assumed that I didn't speak Hebrew. So he asked Tzvi, he says, Tishal to im hu nasui. Ask him if he's married. At the time I wasn't. Anybody speak Hebrew here? How do you say no in Hebrew? Lo. Beautiful. Lo. How many syllables is that? 1 syllable. It's 2 letters, 1 syllable. Lo. And this 1 syllable word I couldn't even utter. I was in such awe of being in Chacham Ovadiah's presence that I was just like that. I couldn't even utter one single syllable.